Hello my dear chess friends, welcome to Kiwi Chess. Here I am streaming again. Today I don't really feel that sleepy, so I will try to do this stream for maybe like a couple of hours, and then we'll see how it all goes. I am just slightly behind. I was hoping to get to 2600 back, but I didn't do it yesterday. It was just like a seesaw going up and down all the time. But now I will try to do that finally. Okay, so now without any further ado, we come here. This is the position. I see that we are missing quite a lot of pawns. But our rooks, or our pieces are quite active here. Our rook is under attack, but our queen is really kind of active as well. Note that the enemy's king is lost the right to castle, therefore it's going to be really hard. This rook here is jammed, basically not really participating in the game. This rook is, well, it could enter the game, but it's not really clear how. Um, yeah, our rook is under attack, but since the enemy's king in such a sorry position, maybe we could try and do something prior to the enemy starting any kind of venture here. So let's see. My first impulse was just to go there and take on e7 with the idea of checkmating on f7. But then I just saw this move, queen takes, and then we've got this nasty double check. Sorry, the discovered check on the main diagonal, which can be dangerous, but I'm not quite sure yet. So if I go there and take, and if he takes, I just spotted one more move here, bishop to b3, and that is a really killer move because, well, he can take here with check. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna take his queen. So queen is under attack, and this discover check doesn't really work. That's another interesting feature about the discover checks actually. So in many it looks really dangerous because we know that discover check, the piece, usually the knight, jumps away and attacks something else. Or if it is possible to do the double check, right? If you declare double check, there is no way for the king to cover, just to run, right? And that actually scares people a lot. But they forget that if the piece that declares discovered check is under attack, there is nothing really bad about that, especially if it is a queen. So here I'm taking here with the idea of checkmating on f7, and if he takes on d5, I'm gonna go bishop d3, and then whatever, give me discovered checks, I'm ready, and I'm just gonna take your queen with the bishop, right? So there's nothing really hard, nothing really dangerous about that. Now if we take and he doesn't take, because we saw that this maneuver is refuted quite strongly. Now there's the any other thing that he could do to protect f7, and he can go with the knight because either way he goes, our queen from e7 controls both of those squares. Therefore there is only one move left, which is rook goes to well, actually I'm lying to you, it's not the only move, but rook there, and I've just found another move, which is queen to f5, which protects f7 as well. So that is not as clear as, you know, as I thought. But let's not get into despair, because I can go this way, and the knight is pinned, right? So he can't really declare any checks on me or anything. Then I'm gonna take on f3, double attacking. Sorry, attacking f7 even more, like with one more piece, and for black it is gonna be disastrous. I think that's pretty much it, right? However, if we go and take on e7 and he protects f7 with his rook, then it's a bit of a problem because I don't really see how I'm going to develop my attack in this case. Maybe there is something that I'm missing. This knight here is actually a real pain, but there is nothing clear. And it's interesting because I don't really understand. If I go, sorry, I just wanted to go to my channel. Hello guys, whoever is watching that, welcome. If you are first time here, I'm from New Zealand. My name is Alex and I'm a candidate master. So here I mostly solve chess tactics, usually on Lichess. Well, I think I've never solved anything on chess.com here, because Lichess allows me to talk a lot and it doesn't really restrict me on time while I'm solving puzzles, which is good. Now let's just try something else here. Once we've taken, the rook goes and protects, and that seems like stops everything, which is not what I want. What can we do? What can we do? I believe that we need to concentrate on those pieces as well, because I'm currently about to be taken on g1, right? My rook is going to be gone. So what am I going to do? What am I going to do? The rook cannot go there because of this check here. Well, technically, no, once my queen is away, no, I can't do that because he checks me and I need to cover and I'm gonna get checkmated. So looks like this move is refuted when he just moves the rook. And I know that the black's position is still kind of really bad, but try to win here, right? That's the thing, try to win. Maybe I should just go somewhere like this way. Maybe that might help. My queen here defends the bishop, right? So I'm attacking his queen. And if he, say, takes here, maybe I should do something else. I can't go anywhere anyways. I've just thought of something. Maybe I just can go to c2 right away. Maybe that's my trump card here. So he goes away somewhere. Where would he go? Like here, right? Anywhere else? It looks like he's pretty much covered. Yeah, he can't go anywhere. Well, only to... No, he can't even go there. So once I go there, he's got a couple of squares to go. Just those two. Just those two squares, right? Does that give me anything? I don't know. I don't know if I should be doing that at all or not. Maybe the idea is not to checkmate the king, but to do something with those pieces. That could be pretty much the case as well. But in order to do so, I need to find the idea. So I'm taking on e7. He covers with the rook. Maybe I should just continue with that or somehow. Well, this is the only move I kind of see here, but that doesn't really help, does it? So if he goes, say, see, he takes on d5, that's what I was considering. And then I'm a little bit, then I'm in trouble, aren't I? So if I go there... Now, the problem for him is if he goes anywhere, I'm gonna take the knight, right? So it looks like that's what we can play on. That's what we can use. So I go there, the only way is to cover with the rook, looks like. Then we go and attack him here. He can't go anywhere and he needs to go somewhere maybe like there, right? So he takes here. Then we go and attack him with the rook. And then he's got only one place to go, which is c6. and then we can attack him from c6 too, and then that is, ladies and gentlemen, a loss of a piece here. Well, he returns this way, but I still take him here, so he loses a piece and the position is kind of dire. My rook can jump here and then try to attack him with check. He takes, I take here. Yeah, that seems nice, isn't it? Let me try that as a starter. Okay, so that's what we predicted. Now we need to attack the queen. At the same time we need to threaten the knight here, right? So that's what I'm preparing to play. Note that he can't really go anywhere to protect. Well, actually he can go to f5, but in this case I'm just pinning him. That's exactly what we saw before. So no, he can't go there. So the only way for him to survive now, not to lose the knight, is to take on d5. But then, as I said, we just go with the rook here. Maybe we could do something else. No, we cannot do anything else. I just saw one more thing, guys. So he goes to c6. And it looks like I can't go rook there because he goes to a8. He goes to a8 in this case. Hang on, but that's cool. I'm gonna take here then. He can go back to c6. No, that doesn't seem right. No, that doesn't seem right. No, Harpondini, how are you doing? Okay. So this is the way, kind of. That's what I see. I don't really see any how we can attack him. But that doesn't. He takes here, right? Is there any way I could attack him apart from this way? Is there any other way I could attack him? And the answer is yes, I can. This is the move. And this is the move, and wherever he goes, everything is protected, so I can take here. If he takes on d5, then I can take on f3 with the bishop, and that wins. And that's the end of the puzzle, right? Oh, rook b3, yes, you suggested that too. Right, nice. So that's the thing. First I've forgotten about that rook completely, but that didn't really work. So this move here didn't really work because he just goes along this diagonal. He still keeps the knight there, but rook b3 is the one that actually attacks this knight once again, and that therefore we're winning. Yay! Nice, nice. Next. Alright, so here what we have got, I clearly see that we are missing exchange, right? We've got two rooks, we've got a rook and one piece here, one piece there, that meaning that we are exchange down, but what can we do? What I see, kind of, I can take here, looks like he has to retake, then I give him check here, and it looks like he has to take, right? So he's taking, I'm taking here check, and he can't go to f2 and he loses the rook, but he can cover with the queen. I believe that's the only way he can do. Then we give him check, and that wins, because if he goes there, there's a checkmate here, and if he doesn't, if he covers with the queen, I'm gonna take on g1 check. I think that's pretty much it. Unless if I take, he can go to here. That's a problem. Or is it? I can still go there check, right? If he goes away, then I can give him this check or something. Yeah, check here then. The pawn here is a little bit dangerous, so yeah. How are we standing? We're standing well. I just want to glimpse into the stats. Wonderful, wonderful. How has it been, Pondini? How are you doing in general? We've got summer starting here, so it's already, well, not, I wouldn't say that it's too hot, but definitely it is spring, so I can feel that. So here, taking here and that actually goes there, and looks like this is kind of refuting, but I'm not clear yet, so I'm gonna give him check, and if he simply goes away, looks like the pawn is shifting towards my king, because if it goes on queens, I'm in deep trouble. Oh yeah, this code is nice. I've got um, how do you call it? It's not groups. It is a couple of domains in Discord. I've been looking into, but not that much. One was like the like electronic repair. It is really a popular channel on YouTube, which is done by one guy who lives in the UK. He's Romanian, but he lives in the UK and he repairs all kinds of electrical appliances like computers and that. So I was actually hanging out there because I needed some schematics for laptop. But yeah, and also like I've got this New Zealand site as well. New Zealand, oh gosh, not site, domain group, whatever you call it. So yeah, there was quite a lot of news there. Yeah, and I've got, I think, about three other chess groups there, as well as some of the gamers, which stream on YouTube. Sometimes I just really like to watch on Twitch when people play, like Day by Daylight and Dead by Daylight, and I think there was something else I was watching. Uh, oh gosh, it was actually a long time ago, but people were streaming Resident Evil 8 Village. So I was looking at that on Village, yeah. Server, yeah, server it's called, yeah, exactly. Yeah, but apart from that, I'm fine, yeah, I'm fine. I was a little bit busy, so I was not streaming chess at all, but yeah, that's okay. There will be time for rest, and there will be time for work. So taking there, and that's the pesky pawn that in fact ruins everything, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong, because if I check and he doesn't take, I can take check here, and well, he just dumps back, right? So what do I do? How do I get that um, thing? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, voice chat. I've never tried actually voice chat. I remember somebody was playing there, and I was chatting with the person. So yeah, that is. I'm aware of those possibilities. That's why Discord is actually quite a good tool too. It's like for conferencing, and if you've got like Teams and that, so you can always handle the Teams there. But overall, yeah, it is kind of, well, I couldn't really find a parallel to Discord. It is basically unique, yeah, it is unique. A bit of a chat too, a bit of sharing information, a bit of streaming, a bit of like live conversation, something like yeah, fusion of a lot of different stuff like Teams and Skype and you name it. All right, so I just had an idea. So if I go there, check, well, after I've taken here and it doesn't take, he just moves the pawn. I can check here, and if he goes away instead, maybe I could just give him check from here. All right, so this is the main point, and I think with this check it is actually really bad for white, because he hasn't got any kind of places to go. If he goes somewhere here, I can do the rook check, even if he's on d2, because my rook is protected, and then my queen jumps in, and I think it's gonna be killing. So yeah, I'm gonna go with this. Oh fuck, that's not right. Uh, Maybe I should just go there right away or something. No. That's actually a little bit frustrating. I was pretty sure that it was going to be the thing that okay, so let's just embrace ourselves and see what we could do here. Anyhow, we can lurk somewhere to maybe this way. Righto. So now the pawn goes, but I'm sure we will have something here to, like this check here. Yeah. Wow. Well, that was actually interesting too. So with this particular threat, I'm attacking him, and I'm attacking the pawn to create this check. If he goes there, I believe we could even start attacking this way with those checks. And if he goes somewhere else, we can also employ those kind of checks. And let's see what the computer says. So once he goes away, yeah, check here, sure. Now if he goes either way, here or there, what happens? Then, this is another check coming here. So he goes there. Well, now we've got discovered check, double check, and then we win the queen. Well, that's advantageous, isn't it, to win a queen? Yeah. So rook c4 was the correct answer. All right, next. So we've got a check at the moment, and bear in mind that his queen is also under attack. So what can we do? Naturally, I can cover from the check, but then he takes me with check, and we're losing initiative. But once we go away with the king, I believe that's what we might do. But I'm not really content, because he takes here with check, and actually he can take the rook as well. So that on its own doesn't really make me feel good. But what else then? What else? I can't go to the F file. I can't go there because he just attacks me with check, right? But maybe that's nothing serious, because look, his queen is under attack. That's the main thing. If I go there, if he takes here, what do I do? Yeah, well, the previous one was actually quirky. Queen going to d2 here. Well, once I go there, queen goes to d2. Let's verify. So this one is definitely winning, right? So it is check. But if queen goes to d2, let's just quickly verify what happens there. Then yeah, well, that's what I was thinking. Going there with the rook e4, yeah. And either way he goes, it is not really advantageous, kind of. So then this check comes, and yeah, well, he can take, then check here. That's dead lost, of course. So sorry, I just jumped to the next thing. I need to probably. Um, oh, it's a different one now. Hang on a second. There was a different one. Oh dear, now it is. I don't like that. Okay, nevertheless, so what my point was that I was making is that I need to look into the chat. If there are any questions, we will definitely go and check what happened rather than me rushing to the next puzzle. So here, pawn endgame, what I see is we can create a distant passer in this case, just going by a4. The idea is to go there, check, oh sorry, not check, going there, and if he takes, the pawn slips and wins. I don't really mind that he's got that many pawns here. They won't go that far. I'm gonna queen first because his king is too far, and then with the queen, of course I will just kind of roast him. If I take here, that allows him to regroup with the king, so the king comes closer, and bear in mind he has got also an opportunity to create these passers here, which draws the position. Well, actually it doesn't even draw. I think he's got an advantage because he's got another pawn f to come here and break through at some point. But it looks pretty much kind of I would say it looks drawish. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there are hidden resources somewhere. Like in this position, two of my pawns are against his three, but here are two of mine against his one. Nah, I think it is still a draw. We will check it later, but I look like it looks like it looks like we will check ourselves. So it looks like a draw to me if I take here. But we are standing to try our chances, and therefore I would go a4. Let's see what he can do. So if he moves with his king closer, I'm still going there. And if he comes closer, I can take. He comes closer, and then I'm protecting my pawn. Now, whether I've got any chances after that, I don't know, because that doesn't seem winning to me. Yes, those are two pawns, but he can stop them with his king, and he himself has got way too many pawns here, and that is dangerous because I can't really go to the king's flank to the queen's flank anymore, because he would go there, and well, all these pawn breaks here are quite dangerous. So we need to estimate how we're going. He goes closer, right? Now I go there. He doesn't react to that. He goes closer. Then I'm taking here. He gets me, right? Gets me. But if I go with another pawn, well, he can take, and I'm screwed. So no. Yeah. So that's exactly my point. So we can try that, and I don't really see anything else here apart from we can take and we can probably draw, but it is definitely not winning. There is no win here. The next move, I'm gonna probably go e5 and then stop the pawns here. So I'm just gonna go c5, d6, and yeah, there is no possibility for him to perform any pawn break unless he wants to lose and do the f pawn break. So I'm gonna take here, and this pawn is going, then another pawn is gonna go here. So yeah, that doesn't work for white. Okay, so what are we doing? So let's just verify our variation again. So a4, so he comes closer, and c3 seems like, well, we have to c3, but then he just ignores, he goes forward with the king, and that is really bad. Well, I have to take, looks like. He comes closer to the pawn. I go with that pawn, and he doesn't even need to move. He goes f4 right away. If I try to go there, he is gonna perform pawn break here, and I'm dead. Right, so that doesn't look like working. But I'm surprised, frankly saying, I'm surprised it's not working. You know what? Maybe I just gonna go there. Push the pawn right away. Yeah, yeah, that's what your suggestion too, right? Just push the pawn and then just go there. There. Yay! We can't do. He can't really do anything here. And if I push the pawn, he can't take anywhere because I'm still taking. Yes, that's obvious. Yes. Are we getting anything? No, we don't get. And that's the thing. So this was puzzle. You see that I got the tick here. Oh, you don't see that. So I got the tick for that puzzle. You see my rating didn't increase because that seems to be a puzzle that I had been solving before and I didn't solve. So Lichess promotes those ones to see and to promotes those ones for you to resolve. And that makes total sense because I was in the different. I had a different puzzle and suddenly it turned to that, which is not really what it was before. Anyways, next. It's interesting pushing c pawn right away. So here we get this position where definitely h2 is something that needs to be watched, right? Now, I kind of want to take, but the knight is actually protecting that, right? So that doesn't work right away. So taking on f3 seems like the option. He needs to retake, and definitely he takes with the bishop, nothing else. Then we can just go that way, or we can take here with check first. So he gets away, then we're moving our queen forward. And tell me why I'm not winning here then. Maybe once I take here, he takes me there. But then I'm simply taking one more piece, right? And I'm going to be piece up. Seems trivial to me, but I might be wrong. Yeah. So I got the well, I don't get them that often. You know what? Normally they get like sometimes once you just push the button right and they you go to the new screen and then you stay there for a while. And what I usually do is I don't solve the puzzle that I've got. I just refresh the screen again. If it goes to the same puzzle, that means that it's a new puzzle. If you refresh and it goes to something else, that means that the puzzle that you had was the one that they tried to promote to you once again. So just refresh the screen. If you're not sure, just refresh the screen twice on each puzzle. Right? That does the trick. So if you see, I was doing that. I had never had any of those ones, with rare exception. And it's only when I didn't really refresh the screen or was going backwards and then I come forward and then I got suddenly that one, which I wasn't expecting. So just refresh the screen twice. That's my advice. Right, so taking here, that's my point. And that's what I'm going to do. Sure. Now I'm gonna take here with check. It is essential because he hasn't got anywhere to go. He's got only to h1, and I'm gonna push my queen to h4. And it looks like there is no way to escape from checkmate. Can you believe that shit? That's not right. Could you just believe that, eh? It seems way too easy. And when he takes, I'm just gonna go there. So he hasn't got g3 anymore. Wow. Well, frankly, I didn't even see this move. Now I guessed that, but what's the point? So, hang on a moment. So if I don't do that, what's happening? He takes me here. Ah, yeah. Covering here, of course. So stupid, eh? So stupid. But if I take here, check, he takes, and I go there, doesn't he have that move as well? No, because I'm gonna check him here, take there, and I'm winning the exchange, right? Yes. And some of the threats here and there as well. But I'm clearly winning an exchange here. That's the thing. So you can't checkmate the king here. Wow. Look, actually, that thing is worth remembering because, my goodness, I would have fallen for that one. I fell for that one. But he takes me here, and surprise, surprise, the discover check doesn't really work because he can seal the file. Wow. You know what? That's worth studying. I'll just get it to another. Hi, Todri. How are you doing? Rosen, yes. Interesting, isn't it? I'm not getting any courses. That's why I'm kind of so ignorant. In fact, if I had known, I would probably go there and do some. But I don't. I can't really. I don't really. I can't find any free time these days. How's it all going? It's really nice to see you guys here because it's been a long break since we last talked. It's nice to have you here. Now, I actually saved that one for a further study because it's really interesting defense actually. And I always forget that in the chess attack, attacking the king, it's not necessarily that you need to finish it with checkmate. You can also scoop some of the material on the way. And that's what happened here. I'm winning the exchange. And the position is really bad for black anyway, so I need to get really from Italian. Let's just see where it's coming from. Actually, it looks like, yeah, it's French, but it is exchanged French, right? So that could occur from many different openings. So this is kind of symmetrical pawn structure. And this is interesting because white usually goes all with the sacrifices on h7 and so on, but here black took the initiative. That's an interesting stuff, yeah. That's interesting stuff. So white actually lost the grip of the position and allowed black to nicely develop here. And here comes the combination. But in fact, couldn't he do that on the... Well, hang on. Without getting the king? Yeah, so that was already on the plate. So see, there was one extra move here, which was not necessary. That's where the actual position was. Yeah, just check here. It's absolutely the same position, in fact, but without this move, additional move, knight to d7 and c5. So this position, the opponent actually blundered that. I believe that he blundered it the second time as well, if you look at the rapid game. But in fact, yeah. So that's exchange French. Okay, going to the next one. Righto, what have we got here? That resembles... that's what I don't know what that resembles. Looks like... This more resembles like some kind of... Not Italian, but maybe Spanish game or something. Let's see. Oh, it's Caro-Kann. Surprise, surprise. It's Caro-Kann. No, it's definitely Caro-Kann with taking on f6, which is quite popular these days. Right, maybe French. French also has got this variation with the with taking on f6 and then doubling the pawns on f file. Knight e7 in French. Knight e7. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. The previous one, the exchange one, right? Knight e7, then bishop to f5, right? So to exchange the bishop. Yep, yep, yep. I got you. So here, well, I believe that I've got this kind of tempo move here, knight to e5, and then probably going to d7 with my rook. But if I go there, um, first of all, I'm always forgetting to count the material, and I see that black has got an extra pawn here. Not only extra pawn, this is a passer here on e-file, so we must have something that is that should give us some kind of significant advantage in here. So that's why I'm going there, attacking the rook. But the rook actually can go back to c7. I don't see what we've got here then. What is this all about? Let's just check the check, this one, because I always forget about the checks. And he can't go there. He goes only to h8. And it's really good. I kind of like that. And then we go there. We're threatening checkmate on f7 and we're attacking the rook. That's how it goes. I play French myself, yeah, yeah. It's funny thing actually about French that most of the people that I played against, at least online, they choose the exchange variation against French because people don't know how to play against French that much. There is a lot of different variations there, and I play personally. I play Rubinstein variation when I take on a4. It is a kind of tough variation where you can't really expect to get any advantage. In fact, as black, it is kind of tough position where you sit in the defense for quite a long time. But what I liked about it, the position actually is really sturdy, right? For black. Yes, you don't have any initiative, but it is sturdy. It's really hard for white to get through. And I played that successful against much stronger opponents in of the board games, international masters, FIDE masters, and so on. I couldn't say that I didn't get nice positions from there. So yeah, that's really interesting. Right, back to our thing. So here we've got this check, and I believe next one we would jump in here, creating a checkmate threat here, and if the rook goes, it's a checkmate, otherwise he needs to go with the pawn, and then we're winning the rook. So I think it is quite straightforward, and that's all. Now, let me just do that. This, yes, and then check here. Can you believe that? So then check here, and then he needs to go there. So totally different idea. And I'm losing my points. Now, why isn't working? Why my thing isn't working? So he goes there, then I go that way. Oh, check! My goodness! And wherever I go, this check here follows. So I go there. He can't give me check because I can cover with the rook and still threaten checkmate, right? But then he goes and just protects f7. And if I go there, he just simply gives me check. I'm going away. There, this check here is actually really annoying. Well, that's a draw. For you mean for French? I don't mind, but look, I would even if I get those ones, I wouldn't really look into them now. Frankly, say I'm just speaking from my heart, because I've got no time, guys. Really, I can't really. I was to prepare because I know that the next round I've got quite strong players in our over the board tournament, and I'm playing white. I know kind of roughly where whom I'm going to play against. And I don't really find any time to prepare. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. I don't know. So yeah, mastering French course. It's kind of nice. but I wouldn't have time. Pondini, honestly, I wouldn't have time to even look into that. A lot of things, with family and work, and I've got some of the other stuff to do, like with the computer repair and that. So, frankly, no time. I kind of like that's why I kind of like solving puzzles, because at least I get some training. Yeah. Right. So next one. Ooh, that's an endgame position. Endgame position. But I thank you very much for that you offered me that. The other day I would probably will be accepted with gratitude, but I that would be just sitting somewhere on my SSD and waiting for its time until the whole opening theory is getting, older and older. Right, so here I kind of like to march with my king to here and probably place my bishop somewhere so he can't even give me any check, and then I scoop his knight and then go forward and my pawn queens. But I also need to watch his pawns here, and yep, thank you for that. uh it's interesting actually. I'll mention to you one thing. I try not to concentrate on the openings that much. I know that they're extremely important, but the opening theory goes and grows really really fast. So versions are getting refuted, and on the R level, I believe. I don't want to kind of insult anybody, of course, but I consider myself a weak player, in fact, even though I'm kind of CM. On our level, like at the club level, I think that the openings don't contribute that much, even though they do, not contributing that much as the mid game. And that's why I'm kind of desperately solving all these puzzles, because that's where I fail. I can get really nice openings, and maybe like I wouldn't be exaggerating if I say like 90% of my games I'm getting really nice positions out of the opening. Recently, I started to get a little bit kind of stuttering and getting some of the real kind of stupid mistakes in the openings. I didn't even understand why I'm doing those mistakes, like why I'm making those mistakes, because it is just so weird to me. It's nothing to do probably with it's to do with my form, with lack of concentration and like dispersed attention. I don't know, but yeah, and that was always really kind of seemed to be not fair when I was playing somebody like FIDE Masters and etc. So the strong players, and I knew that the opening really nicely. So I got to the really nice position where I could even get some advantage, and suddenly I just missed some kind of tactical blow and they win. And that's why they're stronger, because even though they don't know the openings that well, they still can get advantage on in the further game. They can complicate the position where you couldn't find the correct answer and so on. So that's all kind of really, yeah. Mid game is definitely my biggest weakness for sure. I couldn't complain about end games, although I can also there. I used to know openings quite well. And why I say used to, because well, I think I'm still kind of holding to those openings that were really popular, probably like in the beginning of beginning of millennium, like 2000 and something. And I can tell you that they didn't really change to the extent that they couldn't be played at the club level. I know that all these like things like denied earth and so they got polished till move like 13 so on by Caruana, and all of these like I recently I watched one video on Winawer attack, right? Winawer French, right? And it is the bishop b4 and so on, and there's all this kind of thing happens there, all the bollocks, and then we would go further and further. And in fact, this whole thing was polished so finely until move I think 30, where it was decided it is actually already a draw if black doesn't make any mistake. Can you believe that? It is just enormous how computers are getting involved into that. And sadly, again, in my opinion, that people more try to remember their analysis, which means that the computer analysis, in fact, right? And they started to play total, total nonsense. That's why I think your own input, not just computer, which if you can remember these variations, right, the sharp positions, good on you. But in fact, most of the people don't, and that's what kind of helps us. It is in fact tactical vision and solving, like being really consistent and stable at your play, not doing kind of stupid mistakes like or blunders, and that's what counts. Right, so here, what do we do finally? Yeah, that's exactly the way the GMs, even before the computers, they used to polish the positions till like move 30 or something, just getting all of these ideas there. But yeah, now it is even better because you don't even need the coach or sparring partner because you've got the computer that could actually tell you everything. I think I use word actually too often. Anyways, so what do I do here? I am kind of tempted to check here and take another pawn, but wouldn't that be a waste of time? I'm not quite clear. If I go right forward and he takes the pawn, maybe he doesn't take the pawn, maybe he starts to move the pawns, then I think I'm gonna get there on time. So that's gonna be my first move. The idea is really stupid just to go there to g6 and win the game. If he goes there, check, I'm gonna go there, he goes back here, then I'm gonna move my bishop into g7. It still guards everything, bear in mind, and I'm gonna go there on g6 and he can't go anywhere. And my pawn is gonna be going further. Maybe I should go there and prevent him from going anywhere else, and then move. That's what I don't know yet. But if I go there and go there, he hasn't got any checks on me or anything, right? If I go there, he goes takes, there, he goes closer. I go there, he can't really make me. So if I go there, he gives me check. And that's where the complications start, because if I go further this way, he gives me check from here. I go there, he goes there, and he prevents me from moving anywhere. I can go that way, taking the pawn. I think it is still advantageous. So I wouldn't really spend time moving with the king or with the bishop. I would go with the king because that allows my king to arrive here first. Yeah, I'm gonna go there. Okay, so that goes according to plan. And that's it. Wow. Wow. So thinking with schemas actually helps in the end game. I didn't even count anything. You see, it is just to show the path really where we go and then just go there or whatever. So that's the winning strategy here. We don't even need to calculate the variations. And allow me for going on a tangent here as well, because um, that's what the endgame is about. It is all the strategy plans, the schemas, how you need to position your kings in order to win. And then the variations is not that important anymore. Not always, of course. There is a lot of tactics in the game as well, but that counts. Right. So the idea is that if he goes there, we go there. Let's just verify if we were right or not. So if he goes there, I'm going to go there, check. I'm going to go further, and then I'm about to go with the bishop, right? So I would go with check. I go further, and now whatever he does, I'm still kind of in here. So actually, even this move I kind of saw. So going somewhere, and then we just go. No, we can't go there because of the check, but we can go further. Now he goes there. You need to always be sure that you didn't get to those checks with the knight, because knights are quite quite annoying pieces as to forks. Now if he goes there, I take here, and if he starts to move his pawns, what the heck am I going to do? Oh, I've got my pawn here too, of course. Once the pawn reaches g6, we are winning. And we still got the bishop to control pawns, and he needs to spend twice more time to move both pawns. If he moves only one pawn, we can always grab that. Two connected pawns shouldering each other until they force the bishop to do something. Yeah, but again, it is way too much time. If one pawn goes, it requires 4 tempi. If the other one goes to support, it's another 4 tempi. So technically, 8 tempi against whatever. We're gonna be much faster here. Don't be afraid. If you queen first, you can kill those pawns, of course. Phew! First solution. Well, actually, not first. Second correct solution tonight. Surprising, Alex, isn't it? You must be proud of yourself. Right. A rook and game. And I kind of like rook and games too. They are way too complex, but still quite fascinating. Right, let's go and check. So he is, well, first of all, we are playing black, so our pawns are going upwards, and his pawn is going downwards here, and it just queens on e8. Right, we need to prevent that from happening. So this is that seems the way. We're stopping the pawns, and bear in mind, if we take that pawn out, even if we go to the pawn in game, we have got really high chances to win, and I think we are winning, because this structure, when we got the extra pawn in extra pawn move, in fact is winning. Similarly, I believe that the rook and game is also won for us, because if we take this pawn here, our rook on the e file cuts the king off. And once the king cut off, it is really bad for the weaker side, because we can technically get one more pawn won, and then two passers would be deciding. But even with the one passer, it is still kind of hard for white hard for the weaker side to do anything when the king is cut off. You can try some kind of bridging with the rook and get over and still get with this king, but it's gonna take a long time, and we can always catch him on exchange of the rooks at some point. Actually, I got caught once. Luckily, I survived because the opponent actually offered me a draw, but it was still lost in the inter-club game. But yeah, that's kind of the essence. So I'm gonna go there. I don't see anything else, frankly, apart from kind of check here, but he comes closer. And I don't see what I gained here, so I'm gonna give check again. It's gonna be repeating. Yeah. So if I go there and he decides to promote with check, double check, I'm still taking here. He takes here. And in fact, you know what, guys? I think I'm not quite sure if I'm going to win here or not. See, if I go there, check. Well, I have to take, right? What else? And not with the rook, because it's double check. So I'm taking, and he takes here, and I think it's a draw. Interesting. Very interesting. How are we standing? How long have I been streaming? An hour. My goodness, time flies. Time flies indeed. I see the people, a lot of people are watching. Welcome, welcome, guys. whoever is here is welcome to join and solve the puzzles with us. I welcome everybody to just throw their variations in the chat. We can check them later once I found the proper solution or I failed. So there is nothing to be ashamed of if you throw the wrong variations or anything. It is, I always say that's how we learn. But seems like my brilliant idea of going to f7 actually is refuted when he can simply just go e8 check, double check with a queen, and the pawn is gone. How about that? What if I go there instead? f6. I'm threatening to take the pawn out. And no, actually I'm not threatening anything, but the pawn cannot really go further. And it looks like it's really bad position for black, because for white, sorry, because I also got those checks, and if he goes away I'm gonna take getting him another check, and if he goes back I can actually take, but then he queens, and that's not good. I can do that actually. I can go there, right? And the idea is he cannot really go with the pawn anymore. He needs to do something, right? So it looks like, well, where would he go? If he goes anywhere else, I'm gonna take the pawn. If he goes with the king, if he doesn't go with the king, where would he go then? He goes away with the rook, like waiting move, sure. But then I've got this check here too. And with this one he can't go to the to the 7th rank. He needs to go somewhere else. Then I'm taking the pawn and he's cut off, so that's a losing position for white for sure. If he takes me here I will gladly go to the pawn in game. That's definitely winning for me. So yeah, that's what my point is. So yeah, well, that's without any doubt this is the move, right? Check here, sure, but that doesn't really help. I'm gonna take the pawn. Shall I take it with the king though? Maybe that's a probable move. I don't really like that. I think I'm gonna take with the pawn. I like my king standing here and threatening this check again, where I can take the other pawn, and his king is gonna be still cut off. And it doesn't really bother me that I'm gonna have the double pawn here, because sometimes the pawn behind actually prevents him from checking. It's really advantageous for me. But that said, let's not think dogmatically. We need to be sure that we are in the right process here, because if I take here, now he can move with a king, and that's threatening because he can go and promote the pawn, and I can't help with anything. If I go back, he promotes, and then what? I take with the rook, I take here. I believe he can stop those pawns, in fact, and he can win. So no, I'm taking with this pawn. Right, so he goes away, and now there's a trick when I take him with the rook, right? He promotes, but I wouldn't do that. I also wouldn't take his rook here, because then he checks me on f1 and I'm losing my rook. So what I will do, in fact, I'm gonna go this check here, and wherever he goes here, I'm taking pawn with check. If he goes up, be my guest, because I'm taking here and his king is cut off and he's totally lost, because the pawn is gonna and go and queen with support of my king. Rook is gonna be cutting off the enemy's king. Yeah, I need to be sure that in fact there's frontal attack sometimes that's really helpful, but not in this case. Definitely not in this case, because his king is cut off too. Frontal attack, it means that when I go there, for example, he gives me check and I'm gonna go back before the pawn, and he goes in front of the pawn again, so the pawn cannot really move. But in this situation, I think, well, I've got some of the waiting queen rook moves where I could put the rook in front, and defend myself, so then I can jump out with the king, and if he checks, I'm gonna go in front of the pawn, or even, yeah, in front, and then I'm gonna go somewhere. If he checks me again, I'm just gonna go there, cover with my rook, and the pawn is gonna still march, right? So just be aware, there is this kind of method of attack called frontal attack with the rook, especially when the pawn is too far, and that prevents the king from going anywhere and the pawn from moving forward. Really interesting stuff, actually, in the rook and games. See ya, Pandini. See ya. Thank you for dropping by. It's already late in your place, of course, so go. Sleep is really essential part of our life. In fact, somebody says it is waste of time, but with this waste of time, if we didn't do that, we would be probably living, our heart would be getting heart attack much more often. So we need to sleep and rest to get our pulse down. Righto, where were we? Okay. Okay, so this is a kind of a complex position here, and it looks like he's attacking me. I kind of vaguely remember something similar, but that's interesting. I could have sworn I've seen that before. Right, but if I have, I must be seeing the win then, right? So let's just verify. My idea here is I can either take the knight, and as I always said, like once you look at the position with initiative, with attack, try to understand one thing. Once you've taken here, try to imagine that it's still your move. What would you do? And this way you would see if you've got any threats or not. So in this case, if it's my move, I'm going to go the check. He goes away, then I'm going to give him check. And it's a winning, because if he takes, it's a checkmate on a2. Right? So this move by its own is good. The problem is that he, first of all, he can cover, of course, and then we can give him another check, and then he needs to cover, and we check, and then he goes and covers with a queen, and we take here, and then we can take here, and we're gonna be advantageous, right? So that move on its own is good, but never forget about your king too. So if we take, what would be his reply then? Good question. Good question. We're already threatening to get their check. So if we take normally on with the h pawn, what would he do? He would sacrifice the rook check. I will have to take that. Then he will give me another check, and I'm gonna take him. So he can't give me that check in here, and that's a good thing because he can't really checkmate me in this box unless he goes with a queen somewhere, but that's a waste of time because I'm gonna go and check him on a c2 and win forcefully. Okay, in fact, you know what, I can get a take here too, by the way. So maybe I should start with that move, because first that eliminates this dangerous pawn here, second it attacks his queen, but doing that he can just simply move somewhere, I'm not sure where to though, maybe like here, and then I don't have this take on e2 anymore, and he's threatening to take me here. And that's a bit sad, isn't it? That is a bit sad. So we need to be sure that we are doing the proper thing. So definitely I wouldn't take here, it doesn't look right, we're just wasting our time. Taking the pawn is wasting the time, so I would just go there and take. Because we can also threaten to take the rook on d1. It's a lot of threats there. If the rook protects, then we might get this check here. That he goes away, then we can still sacrifice, in fact, and he takes. and we can take this one. No, we can't give a check from here because the rook is protecting. Gosh, what the heck am I talking about? So if I take and if he goes there, then we won a pawn for nothing. Then we can take with the rook here, or maybe even take here with check. He takes, I take here, and we are having an extra piece, right? So yeah, I believe that's gonna be my first move. I also looked at that move, but then he takes with the knight. Yeah, no, I'm taking here, guys. Okay, check here. Whoa, that's interesting, but I didn't expect that. I definitely wouldn't take because that seems way dangerous. He takes here with check. But if I don't, if I go away, then he still takes here with check and he checkmates me because the rook is gonna get in the attack. Maybe I could simply take with the knight then. Then he can give me check anyways. Somewhere like here. I'm going away. He sacrifices. I take. He checks. But then I've got this cover within bishop, which is good. Yeah, I think knight here would be desirable. No other moves is kind of satisfactory here. So if I get there, what if he brings another rook into here with check? Then I still go away, right? I still go away. And then I'm still threatening to attack him here. If he sacrifices, I'm taking. If he gives me check from here, sure, I'm just gonna go away. And there's no checkmate here. If he gives me check here, I'm covering with the bishop. Nothing. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna take here with the knight, because I don't see any other cases. If I go away, it's way too many pawns here and it's too cramped. So yeah, I have to take. Bugger. No way. No way. Oh dear. Oh dear. Whoa. I rejected that one because it was too scary, but in fact that was the only possible way. Now, tell me, if I just do that, what happens? Check here, I'm going away, sacrificing, taking, check here, and that's killing, right? Go away, check here, and not covering is helping because of the checks here, right? That is that line, that diagonal kills me. Oh way, no way, no way. Stupid. Just stupid. Why wouldn't you just calculate that, Alex? Horrible. And that's where the actual strength of the player is shown. Taking here was the only way. But I thought like, well, after that I'm gonna be dead. No. Apparently no. Check here, going back. And now he needs to go back, but we are keeping an extra pawn here, an extra piece. Right, so extra piece is an extra piece. So he taking, just exchanging everything, taking one more. And we've got an extra piece here and winning position. Oh. Why? I'm just still kind of trying to understand why why I made this mistake. That's a problem. Right, so here what I propose is just this one, right? Attacking, Now if he goes either way, I can give probably another check, but I'm gonna go that way to give him check here, then checkmating him. I think it is quite obvious. The only problem here is that he can go to g6 and predict f7. That's a problem. Well, we can always go e6 further, and then the pawn is going to be open, and then another pawn is going to march. I think we can get there. Right, so now, watch out. So here I'm going to go there, check, he goes away, and I'm going to move another pawn in here. If he takes, I'm moving forward, and the pawn queens. Nothing he can do about that. But maybe we could just go there with the pawn right forward. I don't know. No, because he takes us here, of course. If I go there and if he goes that way, that's gonna be a little bit spicy. I can always protect myself from here, right? And if he takes, this one goes. Okay, and now the moment of truth. e6. If he takes, my pawn goes, and I don't see how he can stop that apart from this move, right? So I go e6, he goes the rook there, but then I'm just going to go c6 or b7 or a8 in fact, and that's gonna be winning anyways. I don't like that we've got 3 different variations here, but let's just verify if we've got anything else in here. Maybe we can take and threaten. No, it's not a threat, he takes. But check here. No, e6 seems to me the right way. Okay, so here is the move, which is interesting, but would that help really or not? I can simply take him. And that's what I'm going to do. That's winning. You nice. So this combination here is actually really interesting with the pawns that go and queen. Nice. I don't know why my stockfish is working here. Okay, next. We're exchanged down, but look at those pawns here. So technically we are only one pawn up for exchange. Oh, pardon me. For exchange, and that should be kind of sufficient, but there also like the enemy's king is a little bit open here, which might give us even more advantage. So what should we do? What should we do? Once the king is cramped into that kind of box here, natural way is just to restrict it even more and then go and check like that or something. But that is a bit tricky, I believe. That is still a bit tricky. Because, well, first of all, he can simply cover, right? He can simply cover. We can, in fact, try and win back our exchange this way, like going there, check. If he goes away, then I'm gonna start the attack, right? So it's gonna be dangerous. But if he covers, I can simply take, he takes, and I'm winning the exchange back. But bear in mind, we've got a couple of pawns. The problem is that our king here is a little bit stranded, so we would need to get that out first. And then he would have some counter chances, so maybe that's not the case. Whenever we see that kind of king openly exposed, I believe that the first thing that comes to your mind is just to checkmate it, right? So we must try hard to do so, I reckon. The other thing is that I kind of like the knight to come closer at some point just to check the king, and maybe we could create some mating net here as well. But I currently don't see how. Oh, pardon me. I start to yawn a bit more than I usually thought. It's not even 2 hours yet. I'm just getting nearly 1.5 hours. It's okay. We can continue. Alright, alright. Apart from this check, what can we do? Because our queen is under attack, right? Our queen is under attack. There are a lot of things that come to my mind. I can even exchange here and just try to check and then take here. So I've got really nice kind of pawn structure here with three extra pawns for exchange. But still, he's got two rooks, and that's a really eminent advantage. So looks like we shouldn't really change our pieces. So let's just verify this variation check. And if he covers, what do we do then? We can try and check him again, but that wouldn't help really. So maybe there is something else then. What if he checks and I go with my rook like here maybe, or like there. He takes me, I take him with a bishop, with a knight, and I'm threatening just to go like checks here or something. I don't know. In fact, our knight should be standing on c3 to be able to checkmate him. But it is not, it's hardly imaginable. Don't think I can do that. What can I do then? Oh yeah. You know what? I think I'm just gonna stream for next like 10 minutes and so, like solving this puzzle and then go, because yeah, it looks like I'm still getting a little bit strange. It's really strange where I've got no stamina basically. Alright, what else can we do here? Let's just verify. So first of all, we can not just go and check. I mean, we could just go away somewhere, creating another thread, which could be really essential. So where else can our queen go in order to create some of the possible threats here? Let's think logically. Well, logically I can prevent him from going anywhere, but the problem is that his rook can go closer as well. How do we prevent that? That's the problem. I can go that way with the idea of going there and then checking. I think that's kind of feasible. So I go there, this is gonna be my threat. But he can also attack me, right? He can also attack me, and what I'm going to do then? Or maybe the idea is just to go with the rook and attack his... No, I think we should go somewhere. Well, this check is interesting because he can't really attack me, but if he goes and covers with the queen, I believe that's the only case I could probably imagine. Like go in the check, he goes there, and I'm gonna going to activate my rook. So he takes me here. I'm taking here. I'm threatening to take the pawn, and if he protects this pawn, I might go there check, and then he goes somewhere. I'm taking here, taking, and I've got way too many pawns for an exchange. But still, there's kind of my position of my king is not really good, a little bit vulnerable. So that's what concerns me really. What do you reckon? Maybe simply taking here is also an opportunity. So taking, checking here, and then taking the pawn, then just dropping back. I think that's kind of a really good position. So yeah, I don't see any kind of threats here, so I'm not gonna take him. Bugger. Checking, of course. Nope, nope. Oh, is that simple? Just winning back the exchange. Oh my god. And I saw that one in the very beginning and I thought like, well, maybe we should try and... far out. Yeah, I'm frustrated. I'm really frustrated. But that's nothing to do with the actual game. Frustration doesn't really help, so you need to keep yourself embraced. Okay. That's just ridiculous. Winning back the exchange with extra pawns, and it's indeed my kind of way of winning, but my style of winning, but here it is just right. So check, we can go away or this way, or we can cover, but covering doesn't really, I'm not sure. Look, let's just verify the thing. So we've got we are pawn down, but this rook is attacked by our queen. We also attacking here. He's got this check, and that's okay. Gonna go away. Then this check comes, right? We're taking the knight. Would that be sufficient? Well, another rook can come here as well, so that's a bit dangerous. So I would like probably go somewhere which is less dangerous, which is this way. So there are no other checks currently on the plate. And if he goes and takes the pawn, for example, does anything here, I would just take his rook, right? So both of the pieces are going to be under attack. Now he takes that one, so one piece is going away from the attack, but the other one is still under attack. So here, before taking them, I might actually give him a check, which is this check. So if he goes away, then I can give him another check, but do I need to relocate my queen or not? That's an interesting stuff. I cannot give this check here, unfortunately. But I believe we need to, before taking the piece, we need to kind of do something else here. And that's why I think checking here is probably the thing that we should do. Then he goes away and we take, because then we can place the rook here, in fact, too. You know what, guys? I kind of like this move check here, because if he goes, I can bring the rook in. I don't really care about his knight. I'm standing to checkmate him. And if he goes there, that wouldn't really help, would it? Just to get him check. So he goes away. I'm gonna give him checkmate. Wow. Unbelievable. Simply taking now. Nothing is simple here. What? What do you want from me? Computer, what do you want from me? So check here. What the heck is happening? Alright, so here check doesn't work. What does then work? That's what works. I don't see that simple thread check there and then he goes away. And then here or what? And just coming back. Simple, of course, of course. Alright guys, I think that's enough, two of them enough. I'll just have a glimpse what is the next one. Yeah, but I think I will just stop here. I will probably get on a line again tomorrow, so thank you everybody who was watching and will be watching. Unfortunately I didn't really make any progress today either, but I'll keep trying. There will be another day, so the main thing is not to drop your rating, but stay at least at the same level. It is not too bad. Alright then, so I will stop now. Thank you again, and I will say to you, take care, bye bye, and see you later. Cheers.